Hey, today we have something different. We get to take a look at Arrowhead's concept art for a game they were thinking about, as well as another concept they had in mind. We also have an Easter egg confirmed by PLAS-39. He talks about upgrades, and there's so much more I'll be covering. If you can, make sure to tap the like button below, and let's get right into it. Hey, first off, I just want to say Happy New Year's, everyone. Hope you guys had a great New Year's Eve, as well as a New Year's, starting off, right? But anyways, with that aside, the Chief Creative Officer recently confirmed that they're discussing consumable upgrades for stratagems. You can see his full response right here, and essentially he mentioned that you will spin your rec slips or samples to upgrade a stratagem to get a number of uses for it. And it will be way more powerful than the default version, but it's not permanent. Once you use them all up, it will return back to its normal power level. So overall, it's a great idea. And for sure, right now, it's just a discussion that's going on at the studio, so there's no confirmation if they're going to implement a stratagem upgrade or not. But they have confirmed they're talking about it as of right now. Speaking of upgrades, it would be nice to see more Super Destroyer upgrades available. It's been quite a while since we have seen any purchasable upgrades. If I can't remember correctly, the last time there was an update to upgrade the ship was back in April. Also, what's going on with the Democracy Space Station, right? It hasn't been functional ever since the Illuminate update dropped, so maybe we'll see more tactical action soon. If you can recall from a previous video of mine, the community manager Baskin confirmed that they're going to add a vote to stay option. The planetary bombardment target system will be updated. They're also going to add a feature that shows us where it will land, either on the minimap or visually in-game. Not only that, the passive effect will stay on planets even when the tactical action is deactivated. And lastly, they're adding some sort of community-controlled space laser, as you can see here. Nonetheless, you probably already know about that from a previous video of mine, but if you're new to the channel and new to Helldivers 2, then you probably didn't know about that. Also, they could be working on the Democracy Space Station right now, and that's why it's currently inaccessible. What we have next is news about an Easter egg that you probably don't know about. The flag mission has a cool in-game mechanic behind it that the Arrowhead developers coded in. The more players you have near the flag, the more it will accelerate, and it will also accelerate faster if you salute while the flag rises. There's a post here that talks about it, as well as a comment down below that brought up how this person had apparently seen a few sound stats that were quite convincing, and that it would accelerate with more Helldivers nearby. The developer, Mr. PLAS-39, claimed a developer coded that in as an Easter egg. Proof is right here. He said, "No, it's true. Everyone at the studio did it, so one of the coders added it as an Easter egg." With that being said, let's go ahead and see if we can tell if there's a difference. What I'll do is show the flag rising up with one Helldiver, which would be me, and I'll show what it looks like if there's a full squad, as well as we'll see if there's a difference between saluting and not saluting. In the first clip here, I'm by myself, and it seems like it's going faster. And when I stop saluting, you can see that the flag slightly decreases. But the second I'm saluting, it increases, and it appears to be going up a lot faster. Now with the team, I couldn't tell if there's a significant difference. Maybe you all can tell me if you see a difference here, but so far the speed looks similar if I were to salute. So anyways, the developers consider this an Easter egg. I didn't know about it. I didn't know that if you salute it would actually increase the speed, but yeah, it does. So if you didn't know about this, then there you go. Alright, now let's talk about stats. PLAS-39 gave a response about the weapon stats and claims that the stats are actually misleading. You can see here that there's a player that posted a comment assuming the Arrowhead developers want us to test out the weapons instead of arguing in the Super Destroyer about which weapons are better. In response, PLAS-39 denied this, and right here said the current stats are misleading as some crucial stats for weapons such as minute of angle, muzzle velocity, and ammo type are not shown at all. Not only that, apparently the damage fall off is obfuscated. So it's not as straightforward as we assumed, and it looks like there's a lot more going on with the stats that we didn't know about. So that's interesting, but he also mentioned this right here and said, "Yes, we had a great recoil, visualization, damage fall off, and bullet drop chart, but they were removed." No kidding, supposedly they had that at one point. Personally, I enjoy looking at the stats and figuring out which weapons might be better and experimenting with it. Also, I'd be thrilled to see more stats shown on the weapons, as well as more stat information on the stratagems. On a similar note, the developers might consider adding some extra stats, but it's just a consideration as of right now. There's a member here that asked, hey, I thought you guys didn't want to do this so that players didn't decide if a gun is meta and whatnot. So what changed? And right here, the developer wrote back and said, It is a consideration, but the starts that should be provided should be those that are facts. Stats like recoil are strange when they're numerical. I don't know what the recoil value on an AR-15 had, but I do know MOA, muzzle velocity, caliber, etc. I would love to see this. I would love to see all the specific stats. I kind of nerd out on it. I'm not sure how many of you are like that, but again, that's who I am. I love looking at the specifics. On a different note, Arrowhead's chief creative officer replied to a Helldiver who told PLAS-39 to never add DEI to their games. The CCO replied back stating that basically if it doesn't add to the game experience, it detracts, and also that game should be pure pursuit of amazing moments. I wasn't expecting him to reply to a post that talks about DEI, but surprisingly enough, he did. Sure, there's been a lot of players who are fed up and are against the whole woke agenda, and then there are players who are perfectly okay with it. I imagined his response would have been approving DEI in Helldivers 2, but it's not, and that's honestly a great thing to see. Now, that's not the only post he responded to about DEI. There's another one here where a player asked how would Helldivers 2 benefit from DEI. In his response, he wrote this: "I don't like labels, but mankind is united in its extreme xenophobia on Super Earth. Hashtag inclusion, so maybe that's DEI. I really don't care. Make good games, don't make contemporary political statement." Overall, it's awesome to see how logical PLAS-39 is when it comes down to Helldivers 2. The Arrow team is not willing to add anything that doesn't make sense, whether that's crossovers or DEI. Plus, political stuff gets a bit out of hand at times, and it can definitely determine if a game is going to flop or succeed, considering I've seen a lot of players that are against it. For instance, Concord would be one. There's Naughty Dog with their whole situation as well, and I could probably go on and on about it. I, for one, just hate the political stuff altogether, and I enjoy playing games that are fun. And if I don't like it, I won't play it, nor will I buy it. Moving along, the chief creative officer dropped a concept art image of a game that the Arrowhead team thought about creating that's similar to Foxstar, which I haven't played that game since I was a kid, and at the time it was on GameCube. Anyway, we have the concept art image right here, posted by the chief creative officer, and you might see something very similar to Helldivers 1. You see the Illuminate ship on the bottom section there? Yep, there we're going to be Illuminate. The game title was going to be called Eagles of Democracy. Also, PLAS-39 replied to a member stating that they made a prototype in Unreal Engine and that it would basically try to capture Star Fox, but with sort of a twist to it. He mentioned this right here: arcade, but still simulated. If the developers were to ever go back on this and decide to fully produce it and put a whole development team behind it, I'd most certainly play it, especially if it has a Star Fox vibe to it. Besides this concept art, PLAS-39 posted another image, except it's a written concept about Smash TV. I'll show the image here in just a few seconds, but it's fair to say it was written 12 years ago, as you can tell from this response right here. Mr. PLAS-39 also mentioned there are typos in it. So right here, the concept is: Smash TV is a top-down reimagining of the classic arcade game of 1990. The game pits up to 4 contestants in a violent game show set in the distant future of 1999. The game focuses on this source inspiration for Smash TV to create a game filled with brutal action, death traps, and gladiator-inspired game shows. The game play homage to 80s action movies such as The Running Man, Total Recall, RoboCop, and Escape from New York, tying everything together with cheesy music, cool visual effects, and over-the-top storytelling. So as I've mentioned, the last one was written 12 years ago. I'm not too sure about the image where it shows the game and visual effects and whatnot. I'm really not sure when that was created, but yeah, who knows? Maybe the developers will create something different after HD2, or we could see HD3. I'm sure a majority of you are looking forward to that rather than the two concepts we have just gone over. But with that in mind, would you like to see a game like Eagles of Democracy? If you have any thoughts about the concepts, then post them down below in the comments. Last but not least, the developer responded back to a player that essentially said that the sniper from the Killzone 2 crossover is mid and that's why no one runs it. The player also thought the developers would have learned from the 60-day patch debacle. In response, PLAS-39 wrote back and said, "Because weapons are what weapons are, balance doesn't matter. This is also what was wrong before. Things were seen as game objects rather than real weapons. If you like the KZ fantasy, you may want to use it. It kills things, not useless. It could maybe use some tweaking, but unfortunately a 3-burst sniper with 9 rounds per mag isn't that great, but that's how the weapon works. I really despise the trope that snipers in games do more damage than rifles of the same caliber. It's so dumb. Well, if you had any problems about the sniper rifle, it looks like maybe they could do some tweaking with it. Maybe they will tweak it around. But as of right now, it seems it's just going to remain the way it is. They're not going to increase the magazine. They're not going to increase the ammo count as far as we know, right, from this post. It seems like they want to make sure that everything stays the same, just like it was in Killzone. The suggested loadout today is from Dr. Bonkers Inc. with the 5-star Uber loadout. Yep, with this loadout, you'll be an Uber driver. We have the Scorcher primary, which is powerful when used on the Illuminate, as well as the Purifier is also a great option. The secondary is the grenade pistol for the Volus that are in groups. I like to pair it with the gas grenade to inflict more damage, which the grenade was also suggested, so that's why I'm using it. We have the booster vitality and the armor passive called Siege Ready that increases our ammo count. Stratagem wise, you can't have an Uber loadout without a vehicle, so we have the fast recon vehicle. And it's amazing when you have a team with you that can run the machine gun in the back. I actually ended up flying way up in the air accidentally. The second stratagem is the machine gun sentry for covering your back, as well as we have a supply pack for refilling our ammo and grenades. Lastly, the commando for one-shotting harvesters. So yeah, all in all, this is a hell of a loadout with a hilarious name, and it's worth using since you have ways of taking out overseers and harvesters without a problem. I'll give this a 5-star Pillisted loadout. I think I've only rated one loadout with a 4-star, maybe a 3-star in the past, but hey, you all have some amazing recommended loadouts. Anyways, we are now going to go over the top 3 comments. If you guys would like to be featured on the channel, all you have to do is comment down below. The first top comment is by Chris. Just add a heavy sickle support weapon as a laser-based minigun. Call it the Reaper, medium armored pin. Basically 3 sickles firing in rotation. Yes, that is just incredible. You know what I would do to be able to get that gun? I would bite off a freaking Terminid's leg with my teeth. Yes, my teeth. I'd even stick my... Never mind. But you get what I'm saying. I would do anything to have that laser weapon. It sounds amazing. The second top comment is by Nickname77. It costs 400k super credits to fire this gun for 12 seconds. A heavy Helldiver. Wait just one darn second. Is that a Team Fortress 2 reference? If it is, you're great. You're amazing for that. I haven't played Team Fortress in quite some time, but I love the game still. The third and final top comment is from Dang It Bobby 1. Expandable minigun with a short cooldown would make sense. Call it in, get 1k rounds. Use it and toss it like the Eat or Commando rocket. That right there is actually not a bad suggestion, and maybe that's something we'll see in the future. You know, something you can pick up, throw away, and it's gone. Or maybe they'll make it so that we can refill it. Either or, I don't mind it. So those are the top 3 comments. Hope you guys give this video a like, share the video out, subscribe, and turn on notifications. I just want to give a huge shout out to Baron, Manly, Eric, Coy, Shadow Patriot, Polo, Jace the Aussie, and Big Case. Big Case and Jace, as well as Polo and even Terry. You guys have been supporting the channel for a while. Maybe not as much as Jace or Big Case, but I truly appreciate the support from all of my members, especially Coy. Thank you so much for being a supporter level 3. Truly appreciate the support overall, guys, and you guys are just amazing. You guys make it so that I can continue creating these videos, and I hope to see you guys in the comments below. But with that said, thank you guys again, and I'll see you guys in the next one.